are 224. Satyang bhanena tujjaya Dajjapasmin piyatito Ete iti thane Vajje devana santike Satyang bhanena tujjaya Dajjapasmin piyatito Ete iti mithane Vajje devana santike. One should utter the truth. One should not be angry. One should give even from the scanty store to him who asks. Along these three paths, one may go to the presence of the God. This is what is wrong with this? That's because there's no sound. I think they are not switched on the speakers outside. No sound. Satyang bhane nakujjaya dajja appasmin piyatito. According to the Buddha, those who like to go and enjoy their life in heaven have to fulfill these three duties or qualities. Now here you can understand, going to heaven from the Buddhist point of view is not a difficult thing at all. You always hear people come and tell you, if you like to go to heaven, you must follow this, you must believe this, otherwise you have no chance to go to heaven. First of all, we have to analyze by using our common sense and understanding, without entertaining our craving, how this concept, or the belief, the idea created in our mind that there is a place, particular place, which is called heaven, where we can spend everlasting life. This concept was created by the man's mind because of craving. Because people like to remain forever without changing, without dying, without decay. But they have no idea to analyze and understand whether it is possible or not. According to Buddha, There is nothing here in this universe, in any part of the universe, whether heaven or hell or in any part of the world, that which can remain forever without changing, without decaying, without dying. This is the truth. But people are reluctant to accept this because they like to remain forever. They think they can enjoy Majan forever there in heaven. It is a very childish idea actually, created by people. Religious people have illustrated heaven and hell, both. To create temptation, they have illustrated heaven in such a way, very fascinating stories and illustrations. And to create fear in their mind, they have illustrated hell, how people suffer and burn and cut into pieces. All these are man-made heaven and man-made hell. The Buddha has given very clear picture, very rational, reasonable, meaningful, practical, without creating temptation, without creating fear in our mind, for us to understand actually what heaven is and what this hell is. It is due to our ignorance, it is due to our craving, selfish ideas. We believe all these things. But one day, when we open our mind to understand things properly, then we will come to know actually what these things are. I can give you two quotations from the teachings of the Buddha. Heaven. One of the devotees, his name was Kutadanta, very rich man. He approached the Buddha and told him, we have no time to lead a pure religious life because we are business people, worldly people, we like to enjoy our worldly life. Even then, after our death, we like to go to heaven and enjoy our life. Then the shortcut for Buddha to point out. Then the Buddha asked, why do you want to wait until you die to enjoy heavenly life? You can enjoy heavenly life here in this world while you are here, not only after your death. This is the Buddha's attitude about this so-called heaven. If you know how to handle our life, how to lead our life, reasonable way, noble way, respectable way, and use our life for better purpose, for our own benefit, by adopting righteous method, we can experience heavenly bliss here within this lifetime. At the same time, those who neglect, those who disgrace, those who abuse their valuable human life, within this lifetime they experience hellfire, burning, suffering physically and mentally. Again, in another discourse, Buddha has very clearly mentioned the belief that people maintain the hell is under this earth or under the great ocean is a belief created by people because of the nature of sufferings. Otherwise, hell is not located in any part of the world under the earth or under the great ocean. He used the word, only foolish people believe. He used this word. Only foolish people believe that hell is under this earth. those who cannot understand things properly. Hells and heavens are not located in any particular planet or any particular world system. Both we can find all over the universe where living beings exist. According to the nature, environment, atmosphere, way of life in that particular area. Now here, in this world, on this earth, we can see real hell as well as real heaven. And various other world systems where there are a lot of living beings also experience more pleasurable, more enjoyable, more fortunate, as well as more unfortunate, more miserable life. These two we categorize, divide into two as heaven and hell. So religious people introduce, when somebody dies, oh, he got a call from heaven, now he went to be with Lord. He is spending wonderful life there with the Lord. These are childish words, actually speaking. Intellectuals never believe this kind of thing. Just to create temptation and some sort of emotional feeling, to arouse this feeling, they create this. Again, the way how they torture in hell, illustrated in such a way, if you study how the kings and the rulers a few hundred years ago, how they torture the culprit by sawing and burning and boiling and cutting to pieces, and they say in hell also they do the same thing, illustrating those tortures, those punishments enforced by the ruler. Otherwise there is no special punishment in hell. Only thing, some religions try to say, when once we go to hell, there is no end, everlasting hell. When once we go to heaven, we never come back, everlasting happiness in heaven. The Buddha completely rejected all these beliefs. If there is anything to exist in any part of the universe, it is subjected to this universal law of impermanency, changes. So there is no such life, there is no such place that which can remain forever without changing. However, if life remains forever, that can become nuisance. We really get fed up with that life. We must have changes. So death takes place to renew our passport. So why do we worry about death actually? We are not worried about death. We worry about our property, our money, our income, our bank account, our wife, our husband, our children. These are the reasons why we worry. It's not the death. Death does not create sufferings or worries. When they think of these things, how can I die? I got so many things. These kind of ideas create fear in our mind. Death is the beginning of a new life. We are very happy about that. Death is not the end. That is the beginning of a new life. So those who come and frighten you, telling that you cannot go to heaven, unless you accept their God or their religion, and you have not learned what the Buddha has said. If you really want to go to heaven, there is no difficulty whatsoever. What we have to do is to cultivate certain good qualities, not by praying and worshipping and just asking a God to take us to heaven, not by performing various kind of rites and rituals and burning this, burning that to please the God, not by sacrificing animals to please the God, not by torturing the physical body to please the God, but live as gentlemen without becoming slaves to your religion, but lead a noble and respectable life. Then heaven is there. So here he has pointed three. Satchang Dhani. If you want to go to heaven, to enjoy heavenly life, you have to tell the truth. Can we find a single human being today who never tell lie? Can you find a single human being who never tell lie? This is the problem. I have told you, in the case of the Buddha, even during so many previous births, when he was working so hard by cultivating all the great qualities, virtues, precepts and morals, developing his knowledge and understanding, he has violated certain precepts because he was not the Buddha at that time. But he had strong determination, conviction in his mind not to violate one particular precept, that is, not to tell a lie. That is his principle. Under any circumstances, never tell a lie. That is the determination. But because of this principle, we had to suffer. We may die because of our principle, because we are not going to surrender. Yes. Body may decay and die, but the principle that we upheld never dies. Rupang jirati maccanam nama gottang na jiratiya. This is the saying of the Buddha. Rupam, our body, jirati, decay and die. Nama gottang na jirati, our name, our influence that we have created, never die. That means our principles never die, the body dies. When we sacrifice this body for the sake of principle, we get a better life. Because in that principle there are virtues and good qualities. When we break the precept to protect this body, we cannot protect the life. After a few years' time, we have to get the bucket. So this is the nature of great people. So their names remain forever. The whole world respects them because of this principle. And why do people respect and worship, recite his name, the Buddha, who lived more than 2,500 years ago? Forever human beings remember his name. Why people respect and pray and worship Jesus Christ? He sacrificed his life for the sake of his principle. People respect him. Why do people remember Socrates in Greece, who sacrificed his life because of his noble principles? Never forget. Their name remained forever. Mahatma Gandhi in India, who sacrificed his life for the sake of his principles, ahimsa, non-violence. People remember him forever. There are many others. So they remain, and they were respected by the whole mankind. But there is nobody to respect this dirty physical body. So the principles are like this. Here are these sayings of the Buddha. Rupang jirati matyanang nama gottang na jirati. Don't surrender your principles, your noble qualities and the virtues for the sake of your physical body. The principles you can continue life after life, but this body you cannot carry anywhere. You drop here and decay and burn or bury. So when he was practicing, cultivating all the great qualities, he said, occasionally he has violated certain things, but not this particular precept, telling lies. After gaining his enlightenment, certain words that he uttered to bless the devotees, to fulfill their wish, still we are reciting. Still they are effective, because these words were uttered by a person who never uttered a lie from his mouth. This is the power of the Buddha word. Just now you recited some in the shrine room. These are the words uttered by the Buddha, not composed by the disciples or some others. That's why we use the same original language to recite, in Pali language. Language spoken by the Buddha at that time. So the truthfulness or honesty, sincerity, these qualities are very important for us to maintain our spiritual development and our dignity, our intelligence, to gain our wisdom. By violating and breaking these principles, we won't gain anything. So the best, the quality among all the others, truthfulness. Try to tell the truth. But there is another saying in Hindu philosophy. That is in Sanskrit language, Satyam bruyat, Priyam bruyat, Na bruyam, Satyam apriya. That is also meaningful. Satyam bruyat, tell the truth, nothing but truth. Na bruyam satyam apriya. If your truth is very unpleasant, can create a lot of violence and disturbances, better not to tell. It's very practical. Because there are certain things, if we reveal, that can create a lot of violence and disturbances and problems. So we have to hold our tongue. After telling that, you can say, yes, I tell the truth. What harm is there? Or that's not the argument. If that truth creates problems and trouble, you must know how to hold it. That is practical. To avoid so many disturbances or enmity or anger, we have to uphold. Then, among those three qualities that we required to enjoy heavenly life, so the truthfulness is the first. Try as much as possible not to tell lies. Our second one is nakujjaya. Should not get angry. This is the second quality. So if you want to go to heaven and enjoy your life, you must know how to control your anger. Here, the Buddha has used the wording very practical way. He did not say you have to eradicate your anger. It is not so easy. Don't get angry. Anger is there because he knows it is difficult to wipe out. When anger flare up, then you must have courage to bring down. Without showing, without indicating anything, without uttering, without doing anything. Otherwise, this anger blindfolds you. Completely blindfold. You lose your sense of reason. You take very hasty conclusions without thinking twice. You can become very nasty, very wicked, very cruel, very dangerous person through the influence of your anger. You forget your status, your position, your human dignity, everything you forget. Because you are intoxicated with that anger, by that anger. Then you cannot control, you have lost your controlling power. Then you do not know what you talk. And you do not know what you are going to do. Later, when you become normal, calm down, then you regret. What a pity. Actually, I never knew. It is so bad, so dangerous. Because there will be a lot of repercussion, reaction, bad effect. So many people have become enemies. And so many things that he has destroyed. His name and his property, his relatives, all are affected because of this anger. So if you do not know how to control your anger, you are inviting so many problems and troubles and disturbances. After that, you do not know what to do. After creating your enemies, when they become very angry, when they are going to harm you, then you also try to harm them. There's another beautiful saying. Iyata mara isyami durjanang gaganopu. How can we see the end of our enemies? By killing them or destroying them. When we kill one enemy, we create 100 new enemies. We never think that. So where is the end of it? Marite koda chittesu, but there is only one thing that you have to kill. Marita sarva sattva. When you kill your anger, all all your enemies automatically disappear. You kill all of them. Remember, this is called Bodhicharya Avatara, the qualities of a Bodhisattva. Bodhisattvas are like that. So when they come to know there are enemies, then they do not allow their anger to flare up. They control their anger. Then all the enemies have to disappear. Supposing you come to know that somebody is angry with you, then how are we going to overcome this? By showing your sour face to him? By scolding him, accusing him, blaming or threatening or frightening him? No, you create more and more enemies. After that, their family members also become your enemy. After that, their friends also become your enemy. Go on spreading and spreading, expanding. But if you really want to get rid of that, you must go and show your smiling face to him. You never lose anything. Show your smiling face. Talk to him or her nicely. Finish. No more enmity. Everything is finished. But we have very strong egoism. Very strong egoism. We are reluctant to do that. This is the weakness. Reluctant to do it. Otherwise we can overcome many of our problems if we know how to adapt this kind of attitude. This is a gentle attitude to overcome our problem. So the anger is the most dangerous, most wicked emotion in our mind. When certain other emotions were aroused, they do not create so much damage. But anger is aroused, not only we harm others, we harm ourselves. Physically and mentally. We have seen, we have heard so many cases. Those who were suffering from a high blood pressure, heart trouble, gastritis, ulcer, because of their anger that suddenly flare up, create mental hemorrhage, blood clot, damages in the stomach. Anger is like electric current, and that can block the thick blood and blood clot either in the brain or the heart or somewhere. If not, hemorrhage, burst the blood vessel. This anger. So physically, we suffer. Mentally, we torture our mind. We can see the appearance of the face when we are angry. That indicates the nature of our mind. When the cobra is angry, we can see it like this. So when we are angry, we see your eyes and the color of the face and your mouth is open. And you do not know what you are going to do now because of that little bit of anger. So, first you must have knowledge, understanding. By force you cannot control your anger. You know it is dangerous, but by force you cannot control. Because modern psychologists also say if you control your emotion or your anger by force, there will be side effects. Because that force that you suppress create lot of disturbances, either mentally or physically. Therefore, you should not try to control your emotion by force, but through understanding. The knowledge that you gain by listening, by reading, by discussing, improve your understanding. And then you make up your mind when anger arises. I know what to do. Because you realize the danger. So immediately you have the courage to calm down your mind. Not by force. The knowledge of the Dhamma is important for this. Our selfishness, our anger, our jealousy, our grudge or ill will, any kind of evil forces, when appeared in the mind, you must know how to bring them down. Because they can create enormous sufferings and problems and difficulties to others as well as to ourselves. So that is why here, purposely, the Buddha has mentioned, try to control your anger that can harm you very bad. Not only that. Not only this lifetime. If we die by keeping that anger in our mind, it is impossible for that person to become a human being again. That poisonous anger polluted the mental purity. They can become tigers or fierce animals or devils or ghosts, fierce ghosts. So it is so dangerous. That is why many people I have seen, they try to withdraw their misunderstanding, their enmity, to maintain that healthy mind. Otherwise this has been bothering, disturbing the mind. If that person dies with that thought, with anger, there is no guarantee that he or she can become human beings again. So it is very unfortunate. That's right. Controlling so many things is not very difficult, but controlling the mind is the most difficult thing. Mind has to control the mind. There is nobody else who can control the mind. Now when we want to wash hand can wash the hand. We are washing. Exactly the same way, the mind can cleanse the mind. Mind can train the mind. No any other external force or God cannot train our mind. The Buddha cannot train our mind. The Buddha can give some advice what to do, that's all. Nobody in this world who can train or tame our mind. If God can train and tame the human mind, then he can stop the war and violence and bloodshed all over the world today. God cannot control it. We have to control by knowing the nature of our own mind. So, it will take time, because some people are very emotional, very hot-tempered. Some people have tolerance and understanding. not to show their anger. They are called cultured people. And if we are not cultured, if we have not trained the mind, and we behave like a snake, suddenly show our anger in one or two words, or find a mistake, take so seriously and show our anger. There is another thing, we show our anger to our children, to our good friend. That is not anger, not under that category. Emotional expression, it is not anger. By force, to correct, to guide. Father and mother shout and show anger or beat the children. That anger is entirely different. Because karma that we create according to the intention, not the action. Action alone cannot create either good karma or bad karma. It must come through the intention. Why we want to scold? Whether to what you call disgrace or abuse or insult, or to control, to train, to guide, intention is there. Even beating, after advising and scolding, and if the father or mother cannot train the child, then use the rotten. I remember when I was a small boy in the temple, at the age of 10, I think, I broke the charity box. Very small charity box. The Sinhalese New Year Day, because I have no firecrackers. All the others were enjoying. I have no firecrackers. I took only 10 cents. Those days, one packet is 10 cents. So I went to the shop and bought one packet of firecrackers and enjoyed. Another boy was watching that I was breaking the charity box and informed the chief priest that I broke the charity box. After that, he followed me, asked whether, did you break the charity box? The rotan was in his hand. I had to say yes. Then gave me properly. Still I can remember, that is for training. This happened nearly 60 years ago. Still I can remember how he beat me. This is called training. Father also, teacher and the father, both train their sons and disciples with good intention. They are not under this category. Intention. Remember, action alone cannot create either good karma or bad karma. It must come through the intention. For what purpose and why? Then, Dajja appasmin piyachito, third one. Don't be stingy. Give, contribute at least something for the benefit of others. This is the third quality. That means dana, charity. Without contributing something for the benefit of others, we cannot reduce our selfishness. Selfishness is very strong in our mind. We like to enjoy ourselves by disregarding others. Although we have more than enough things, we are not willing to give something to poor who really need something from us. So, charity or generosity or contribution or dana is important for us to reduce our craving, to reduce our selfishness. Then, in return, we also gain merit. This merit supports us to gain what we need without difficulty. You can see how people are suffering without food, without clothing, without shelter, without medicine. But many others have more than enough because the charity. We have to do something. Otherwise we have to go with empty hands. When we depart from this world, we have something to carry with us when you go away. Otherwise the next existence, the next life can become very unfortunate or miserable one. Don't think a very rich man can become a rich man again after he saw her dead. Never. If that person has not prepared for the next life. So here these three qualities, if you can practice, telling truth, controlling anger, and practicing charity or generosity, then there is no problem whatsoever for you to enjoy your heavenly bliss according to the Buddha. If you trust, if you believe what the Buddha says, how to go to heaven, this is. Again, in another discourse, the Buddha has given more details. Those who want to enjoy more heavenly bliss. Mata petti bharang jantum kule jetha pachayanam sandhang sakila sambhasam pesuniya pahayanam madhyera vinaye yuktam satyam kodabi bhugnaram Sangve deva tavatingsa devaloka tavatingsa heaven. Those who want to enjoy their peaceful, happy, prosperous life in tavatingsa devaloka or tavatingsa heaven, these are the qualities for them to fulfill. Remember, by praying to any god you cannot go to heaven, according to the Buddha. Mata petti bharang. First quality, duty, is to look after your father and mother. By neglecting your father and mother, you may go and pray to any god, they will chase you away. Yes. When Prophet Muhammad was asked by his daughter, you always talk about paradise or heaven. Can you tell me actually where this heaven is? Muhammad gave a very meaningful answer. He said, heaven is at the feet of your parents. See how meaningful it is. Those who attend to their father and mother, look after their father and mother, heaven is ready. That is what Muhammad said. From every religion there are very good teachings we have to learn, not only from Buddhism. Buddha also mentioned by giving more detail. But you can see how other religions also support this idea. Again, Hinduism, in Sanskrit, he says, Matrudevo Bhava, Pitrudevo Bhava. Regard your father as God. Matrudevo Bhava, regard your mother as God. Treat them as God and Goddess. Hinduism. Again come back to the Buddha. Mata Pitu Pathanan Puttadarasta Sangaho. Mangala Sutra. Those who attend to their father and mother, they are blessed. Etang Mangalamuttamam, they are blessed. The blessing they gain from the father and mother. Even Bible, honor thy father and honor thy mother. Bible. So every existing religion in this world appreciate this. But today, in our modern society, we are crazy for more worldly pleasure and sensual pleasures. We have no time to attend to our father and mother. When they grow old, they become nuisance to us. We can enjoy our life, so better send them to old folks' home. This is the modern way of life. So there is no such thing as modern, what you call old folks' home at that time. Again we fix the date. Once a year, Father's Day. Once a year, Mother's Day. That means they remember mother only once a year. Remember the father only once a year. From the Buddhist point of view, every day is a Father's Day. Every day is a Mother's Day. Because there are duties for us to fulfill towards them. So, human mind is going on changing, becoming more materialistic, worldly minded. Duties, obligations, qualities, virtues are fading away from the human mind. Then degeneration, declining also physically and mentally take place because of these changes. Because we are not virtuous. Mata petti bharang jantam. Second one, kule jetha pachayana. Respect the elders. In your family you have elders. Your uncle and auntie and grandmother, grandfather, and some elder sister, elder brother. Respect the elders. Why? Elders have more experience about worldly life, married life, business life, so they can tell you, according to their experience, where are the loopholes, where are the weaknesses, and how to carry on, how to handle things properly, according to their experience. Therefore, their advices are very important. We should not think they are uneducated. They cannot understand things properly. Education we cannot measure just because they can read and write. My mother was not an educated woman. She cannot read, she cannot write. But I believe she is a very intelligent lady. When I come from school, I start to read my textbook. When I make mistake in my pronunciation, she corrected. But she doesn't know how to read. When I read some religious book, the mother says, no, it is not like that. She corrected. When I was about 18 years old, as a monk, I went home and told my mother, I don't like this, I have to throw away this and come home and enjoy my life and I can support you. Then the mother said, I have 2 more sons and 3 daughters. They can look after us, they can attend to us. But the happiness that I gain from you, if you remain in the rope, they cannot give. They can give food and medicines and clothing and attend to us when we are sick, that's all. But you can give us happiness. Every time when we think of you, I gain wonderful happiness. Not only that, if you come home, you can support only one family, your wife and your children, that's all. If you remain in the row, you can serve the whole country. See how I understand? Today I am here in Malaysia, not even my own country. What she says. Therefore, knowledge and wisdoms are not in the book. There are Confucius, Lao Tzu. I understand they cannot read and write. But their wisdom far superior to all the others. That is called wisdom. So the maturity, understanding that we can gain from the elders are very important for youngsters. Those who are going to get married, those who want to settle down, their guidance are important. Don't think they do not know anything about the modern way of life and scientific knowledge. Here the Buddha says, Kule Jetta Pachayana, respect the elders. Sandhang Satila Sambhasa. When you talk to others, you must know how to talk gently, politely, without hurting, without accusing, blaming others. Talk nicely. Then you can lead peaceful life. Nobody become your enemies. Nobody want to disturb you. But this will become one of the great virtues. Sandhang Satila Sambhasa. Pleasureya Pahai. Slandering. Go and tell all sort of stories, creating and conflicts and enmity and anger, sometimes violence also, because of slandering. Avoid slandering. Macheda. Don't be stingy. Try to give something within your capacity, what you can give. Don't say you cannot give. Not only material things, not only money or food. You can give so many things without spending a single cent. You can radiate your kindness and compassion. That is giving. You can console those who are suffering from fear and tension. That is giving. You can give moral support those who are frustrated and disappointed. It is giving. They never think in this way. Not only money or food. That's why counseling is very important. When people are confused, they do not know what to do, they are at crossroads. Then counseling is very important to tell them where the mistake is and what to do. By using our knowledge and understanding, try to avoid that. Then, Mātāpetti bharang jantum kule jetha pacayanam sandhang satila sambhasam Pesuni Pahaina Machere. Don't be stingy, do something. Vinaya, discipline. You have various kinds of discipline. At home, you have certain discipline. In the temple, some other kind of discipline. In the society, another kind of discipline. The place where you work, another kind of discipline. If you violate this discipline, you get into trouble. You create disturbances, unhappiness. So, observing the precept, also maintaining this discipline. Discipline means behavior, gentle behavior, discipline. So we have three channels to control: mind, words, action. There must be discipline in our mind, discipline in our words, discipline in our action. How to maintain discipline in our mind? We must know what is in our mind. When evil, wicked, cruel, harmful thoughts appear in the mind, then we must have courage to control them. That is mental discipline. When we want to say something, we have to consider whether these words and terms and expressions are suitable or not, to whom we are talking, whether a child or a man or a woman or a king or a minister or a religious man. We have to change the languages according to their status. Now if I go and see Yamdiprito Agong, I say, hello Agong, how are you? Then you say, what is wrong? That's why you must know the technique, how to read. So, when you talk to a lady, ladies are very sensitive, very emotional. So without hurting them, without creating confusion in their minds, people know how to talk to them. When you talk to a child, you must know the language, what this child can understand. Then talk according to his mentality. That is what the Buddha says here. We must know how to talk. So many people do not know actually the technique or the art of talking. These are the qualities we have to cultivate. If you want to go to Tavatimsa heaven, Tavatimsa Devalok, this is the Buddha's advice. So here, no praying, no offering, no recital, no rites and rituals, nothing. But cultivate these qualities. These are the things that we have to learn. The more we develop these good qualities, the more we experience peace and happy life, as long as we are here. After our death, life never becomes miserable. It becomes more advanced, more developed, more peaceful, because we have developed these virtues in our mind. Because when the consciousness departs from here, all the good and bad qualities remain as ingredients. So when the rebirth takes place, the formation of that life takes place according to the ingredients. That is how can become animals or humans or ghosts or devils or devas or brahmas, according to those ingredients what we have developed during this lifetime. So if we develop more anger, jealousy, greed and selfish ideas, it is impossible for us to become human beings again. If we cultivate humane qualities, such as our kindness and compassion and unity and harmony and understanding, patience, they are called humane qualities. Then in the next birth we become human beings sometimes more advanced than today because of these mental habits. Above all this, there is another state that is called sublime state, Brahma Vihara. Sublime state means above the normal human way of life, because it is very difficult for an ordinary man to practice this. Metta, Karuna, Mudita, Upekha, these four things. Because higher, others say this is divine qualities. We say sublime state. What are those four? Metta. Cultivating our compassion without expecting anything in return. It's not so easy. People do not help others, do not develop their kindness towards others without expecting something in return. So metta means we really develop our kindness irrespective of their race or color or religion or anything, equally. Then it will become metta. But ordinary man cannot do this. Karuna, compassion. When others are in trouble, when they really need our service, our assistance, our support, we go and help them, give our support. We have to cultivate this as our mental habit. Mudita, appreciation or sympathetic joy. That means when others enjoy their life, we should not criticize or condemn or accuse or pass remarks. Maybe our relatives or our friends who enjoy their life, usually people develop some sort of jealousy. That is the nature of human mind. Pass remarks or criticize or disturb. So we have to train our mind. When others enjoy their life reasonable way, we should not interrupt. We should not interfere. That is called sympathetic joy. We have sympathy toward them, but no jealousy, no anger. Also not so easy. Last one is upekha, equanimity, unbiased mental attitude. Unbiased means irrespective of race or color or religion. Regard all of them equally as human beings. That's very difficult. Chinese support only Chinese, but not others. Indians support only Indians, they don't like Chinese. Europeans, they like to support only Europeans. Japanese, Korean, this is the human nature. So we have gone beyond that, above that level. That is called supreme, sublime, or divine. We regard all of them as human beings. Let it be anybody. This is the way how Buddha has introduced us to cultivate our way of life up to the higher stage. After developing above the normal human life up to the sublime state, then it is not so easy to drop, to become unfortunate living beings, or to become animals or devils or ghosts, devils. They go higher and higher and higher, upward journey. So here, today you have learned, as Buddhists, there is no difficulty for us to go to heaven if we really want. But the ultimate aim of our life is not heaven. You have to go beyond that. I mentioned just now, heavenly life is changeable but not permanent at all. There may be a long period. They experience pleasure, peace, happiness, prosperous life. There will be an end to it. So unless we cut off all worldly bondages, fetters, defilement, attachment, there is no salvation. So salvation is not in heaven. Salvation is not in Brahma world. Salvation is not located in any particular area. Salvation is in our mind. When we feel no more troubles, no more worry, no more pain, no more suffering, no more disturbances, the mind is completely free, that is called salvation. So it is not in heaven, it is in your mind. Okay, thank you very much. Okay. Oh yes, Mr. Booncock is there. Yes. Is he there? This Saturday discussion, how many people turn up on that day, last Saturday? Mr. Boone, how is your discussion? 2. You are very lucky at least to get 2 persons, you know. I think the time is too early, 3 o'clock. Why need to change the time to 4 o'clock? 3 too early. Start at 3. See this, tomorrow how many will turn up? Huh? I'm sure tomorrow you get at least 4. Never mind, let them come and discuss it. Discussion. Pardon? Uh-huh. And who are those 2? Who are those 2 turn up last Saturday? Huh? Never mind. The Buddha started with 5. You are lucky to get 2, you know. Okay, right. Imina punya kammena upadhyaya gunuttara acari upakaraca mata pitra priyamamam suriyo tanti maharaja Buddhavanta narapice Brahma වේලිකාපිච්ච සබ්බේ සත්තා සුඛී හොන්තු පුඤ්ඤානිපතකාලිමේ සුඛං